you?
An idiot sandwich.
All right. I was wrong, okay? Recently, I uploaded a video about how much money Logan Paul will make when he fights Floyd Mayweather on February 20th. And I was pointed out in a number of comments how very wrong my calculations were. Some of these comments, which were a little bit more creative than others, I had to delete. But since I see myself as a man of the people, I would like to take this video to correct the very wrong math I had in order to better estimate for you guys exactly how much money Logan Paul will be making when he fights Floyd Mayweather. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Anfernee McLemore, or better known as the guy who can't do simple math. And I want to start off by saying that I don't think that my math in the last video was completely wrong. Although I didn't take many factors into account, I try to be pretty conservative in my numbers, and one of the main things that I forgot to account for was Floyd's recent fight in China. But before I dive into that, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather's social media team recently announced that they will be sparring off in an exhibition match on February 20th, 2021. And my goal in my recent YouTube video was to talk you through the amount of income that they would make. So there are a few main points that I want to address from that last video that I think I could have done a better job at. First and foremost, I referred to Logan Paul being the one who knocked out Nate Robinson in a bout a few weeks ago, when obviously it was in fact Jake Paul. Now that is a mistake that I take full responsibility for, because I recorded that video at about 10 p.m. at night, had it edited and uploaded for the next day. I probably wasn't doing the best job at thinking straight that night. But obviously Logan Paul was not the person who fought Nate Robinson, but with it being his brother Jake Paul, it's kind of the same thing. Another point that I want to take away from that last video was that I said Nate Robinson and Jake Paul both made $600,000 from their fight, and this was actually the reported income for both fighters. But recently Jake Paul came out and announced that he made over $3 million, and some sources said he made up to $6 million. And this of course takes into account the flat income, but it also takes into account the income that he receives from pay-per-view sales. And the last point I want to take away from the last video and correct in this video is that Floyd Mayweather's last fight wasn't against Conor McGregor. Floyd Mayweather actually fought in an exhibition fight in China where he made $9 million in 139 seconds worth of boxing. So with this newfound information and with me thinking more clearly today, I'm going to walk you through some more realistic data on what I think Logan Paul will make towards Floyd Mayweather. So first and foremost, official sources say that Floyd Mayweather will make $5 million up front from the fight and 50% of all sales. Now already this flat number is a ton less than what I thought it was going to be, because I assumed that since Floyd Mayweather made on average $100 million per fight in his career, that he wouldn't want to fight for no less than $50 million. But I'll get to this more in a second. So Floyd Mayweather will make a guaranteed $5 million from this fight with 50% of the sales. In this video, I'm going to assume that we're only accounting for pay-per-view sales and not merch sales and any other thing like that. And also Logan Paul is reported to make $200,000 up front with 5% of all sales. And then again, I'm only going to keep in mind pay-per-view sales, so that's what I'm going to be estimating the final income from. So moving forward from that, sources say that the first 1 million pay-per-view subscribers will pay $25, with everything after that having to pay $70. So looking back at the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. fight, they had about 1.8 to almost 2 million pay-per-view subscribers, and I feel that that is a conservative enough number to base my math on. So what I'm going to assume is that Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul get about 2 million pay-per-view subscribers. If they get 2 million pay-per-view subscribers, that means that the total gross income from pay-per-view viewers alone will be $95 million. Now I'm not going to go into the math of taxes and deductions and all of this stuff. We're just going to assume that this number is gross sales. So if this number is the gross sales, then Floyd Mayweather stands to make the $5 million that he's getting paid up front, plus 50% of the $95 million, which makes his total payout at $52.5 million. Now this is where I must pat myself on the back a little bit, because I said in my last video that Floyd will only fight for about a conservative $50 million, even though I think he's worth $100 million per fight. So I don't think I was too wrong in that sense, but where I was very wrong was in Logan Paul's pay. So if Logan Paul makes $200,000 up front and then 5% of $95 million of what I'm assuming is gross sales, that means that Logan Paul will be coming home with a check of $4.95 million. Now this is a lot less than what I assumed, because in the last video I assumed that he'll be making between $13 and $19 million, but $5 million to fight in a boxing match against Floyd Mayweather is not anything to turn your nose up at. So if Floyd Mayweather makes $52.5 million for this fight and Logan Paul makes $4.95 million for the fight, that means that Logan Paul will be making about 9.5% of what Floyd Mayweather makes. And in the last video I thought that the loser will be making about 31% of what the winner makes. So all in all, I think that those numbers are a little bit more realistic in terms of what both fighters will be making. It still astounds me that Floyd Mayweather can be making $50+ million per fight. Even if you don't think he'll be making that much, I think he'll be making that much from a simple exhibition match against a YouTuber. And I also think that the amount of exposure from this fight will be a launching pad for both Jake Paul and Logan Paul into their professional boxing careers. And also I made that last video as my best guess. yes, obviously I'm not an official source into the circles of either Floyd Mayweather or Logan Paul, so how can I know the exact amount of what each fighter would make? I was simply making an assumption based on what Floyd Mayweather's worth was in the past, and since he has retired, those circumstances have changed significantly. But as I said before, I welcome any comments and criticism, as I do like to read and respond to every single one. But if they get a little bit too creative, I will have to delete them, because I personally don't like to see that kind of negativity on the channel. With that being said, I really hope you found some kind of value in this video. If you like this kind of content, please smash that like button, as it really does help my channel out. It helps me reach a broad audience, and if you like my personality for some odd reason, then hit that subscribe button as well, as I will be posting a new video every single day in the month of December 2020. But with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, guys, peace.